Welcome to our question and answer session for the month of January. Please go ahead and ask the first question. Please ask slowly so I can understand it. Don't need to say so fast.
Question number 1 from Nissan from UK. What is the correct way to practice Buddhanusati?
Buddhanusati means the recollection of the Buddha's quality. You can do it by chanting the Pali words Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho, or you can recite the translation in English. Depends on what language you use. You can do that. This will help you to establish mindfulness. But if you're lazy, you don't want to chant so much, you can just use the name of the Buddha. In Thailand, the name of the Buddha is Buddho, Buddho, Buddho. So you can just recite that, and then it can help you to develop mindfulness, which we call Buddhanusati, the development of mindfulness by using the Buddha's quality.
Question number 2 from Luke Sawak from Melbourne, Australia. My biggest problem is passion. It is a very strong hindrance to my practice. Do you have any advice on how to best deal with this extremely intense craving?
Well, you have to try to cut down on your consumption of the sensual things. Reduce your sensual gratification. Eat less, drink less, watch less movies, do this sort of thing. You have to curtail it and use the time that you curtail to develop mindfulness. Walking Jongkom, walking meditation, reciting the Buddha's name, or watching your feet. This will stop your mind from thinking, and your passion will be reduced. And if you can sit, then just sit and meditate and watch your mind, watch your breath. Focus your mind on your breath. Try to do a lot of this, and then your passion will be reduced gradually. It doesn't happen suddenly, It takes time, so be patient.
Next question from Claudio Rocenti. Is skipping some Dhutanga practice a shortcut to Nibbana?
It's not a shortcut, it's what you call aid, and it helps you to go faster. It's like special fuel you put on your car. You have special fuel that will make your car perform better. So the Dhutanga are like that. It will make your mind perform better on the path to Nibbana. But it cannot shortcut. There's no shortcut in Nibbana.
Next question from Dali Dhamma. He's from China. I'm sitting at home 3 hours per day, according to your instruction, by watching my breath at the tip of my nose. Pretty soon, I'll have an opportunity to do meditation retreat in Sri Lanka and India, but the technique might be different. For example, they might use Mahasi method or other Vipassana method. Is this counterproductive to change the technique that I have been working on to join a retreat, or should I only join the retreat where I'll be able to watch my breath?
Well, if what you do is beneficial and it works for you, it's not good to switch it. So maybe if you can join them and do and still can maintain your practice, then it's okay. But if you have to join them and you have to restart using their method, then you're just switching horses in the middle of the race. So you might not get anywhere in the end. So you have to find the right method for you. Once you have found it, you should stick to that method.
Question number 5. Is reciting Buddho enough to obtain a high level of practice in daily life?
It can help you to empty your mind, because when you recite Buddho, you stop thinking. not entirely, but you reduce the amount of thought that you generate. And so your mind become less heavy, less burdened by your thoughts. And you feel better that way. But it's not complete samadhi yet. In order to have complete samadhi, you have to sit still and then concentrate on your mantra or on your breath. Then your mind will then become completely still, become full samadhi that way. But you need to first develop this mindfulness before you can sit and have complete samadhi. You need to first have partial samadhi by reciting Bhutto all the time. Don't let your mind think unless you really have to think. If you don't have to think, don't let it think. Recite the Bhutto instead. Then you will have strong mindfulness. When you sit, then you can make your mind become perfectly still.
Question number 6. I have fear that my partner will break up with me. What is Tanajan's opinion on this?
My opinion is to get rid of him. If you know he's gonna go, why keep him? Why let him make you unhappy? Yeah. Get rid of him. Yeah. Then you will be happy after that. Yeah. Because sooner or later you have to get rid of him, or he'll get rid of you. Yeah. So what's the point of clinging? Clinging will make you feel bad even if you live with him or her. But once you can cut off your clinging, cut off your attachment, you're free. Yeah. You won't have to feel any worry anymore. You'll be happy all the time.
Next question. Question number 7 from John Lee, Malaysia. Does a person realize the moment when he attains Sotapanna level?
Yes, but he might not know the name of that level. Because if you haven't studied the scripture, you won't know. It's like driving without a map. You get to a place, but you don't know what name of that place is. But you know, oh, this place is beautiful, got nice beaches, but you don't know the name. So the experience is, you know the experience, but you won't know the name until you study the scripture or look at the map when you travel.
Next question from Anthony Lee. What is the guideline for right livelihood other than avoiding taking life of others and avoid trading weapons?
Well, any kind of occupation that contribute to the harm or suffering of other human beings or animals, you should avoid. Yeah. So this is a general description. If you sell alcohol, can cause harm to other people. The people who buy the alcohol can get harmed by drinking too much. And when he get drunk, he might drive drunk and he might get involved in an accident, hurting other people. So you should not sell alcohol or any drugs, because this will only hurt people, not help them. This is basically the general description of right livelihood. Avoid doing occupation that will hurt other people directly or indirectly. Yeah.
Next question. Is an actor the right livelihood, as the actor can influence the emotions or the thinking of the viewers?
It's not the wrong livelihood, but it's not the recommended livelihood. The recommended livelihood is to be a teacher, be a monk. Yeah. These are recommended because it only brings good benefits to people. But other occupation, it's not recommended, but it's not if it's not harmful to other people, it's still okay. Yeah.
Next question, question number 10. In meditation, we stop thinking to become calm. However, when we are not meditating, if we stop the thinking process, such as stop judging or stop analyzing, but only observing the actions, wouldn't we feel lifeless and emotionless?
Well, you try it. Do it. If you don't try it, you won't know. But according to the Buddha, if you can stop judging, you'll be happier. Because when you judge, you become critical, then you become emotionally involved with your judgment and your criticism. So if you just watch, you'll feel a lot happier, lighter, uninvolved. Yeah.
Question number 11. Is the mind in Ajahns talk the same as the soul in other religion?
I think so. The soul, the spirit, the mind. This is a terminology we use to describe the mind in different state. If the mind has the body, we call the mind. Once the mind has no body, we call the soul, the spirit. It's the same thing. It doesn't die with the body. And it's the one that take up a new body, which we call rebirth.
Question number 12 from Teo WT, Malaysia. When I meditate using a mantra Bhutto, I notice my breath slowly becomes subtle and fine. At one point, the mantra lost by itself. Then I try to notice the in and out breath, but my mind cannot be still and I cannot reach samadhi. Is my meditation method wrong? What should I do after the mantra Bhutto disappear?
You shouldn't let it disappear. You should maintain it until eventually when you drop into a hole and then your mind become perfectly still, then the mantra will disappear. But if it hasn't reached the still point, you should continue on with your mantra, because sometimes you are lacking in your mindfulness, so your Bhutto will disappear. So you have to bring it back up by reciting, force recital, Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. Keep doing it and don't let it think about other things. Then sooner or later it will somehow drop into a well or a deep thing, a deep cave or whatever, and you'll feel, then the mind will become perfectly still. Then you won't need to use the mantra anymore.
Should I switch concentration on my breathing?
If you find it will help you to make your mind become still, yes, you can do that. You can use either one. Yeah.
Question number 13 from Calvin Lee, Malaysia. I meditate by keep chanting the mantra Bhutto in my mind. After a while, instead of feeling calm and energized, I feel tired. Am I doing it right?
Yeah, you're not doing it wrong, but maybe your defilement is disturbing you by creating this hindrance called laziness. You start feeling tired because you don't want to do it. Your defilement don't want you to meditate. So if you feel tired, then maybe you should get up and walk, re-energize yourself. Instead of doing sitting meditation, you come and do walking meditation. And if you still feel tired, then maybe you should just give up and take a few hours rest. And once you have woken up, then you should start doing it again. And if it feels tiring, then you have to tell yourself, this is no excuse. This is not true anymore. So then you have to force and you have to fight this tiredness. If it's not real tiredness, then you have to fight. Force yourself to walk. Keep yourself alert, because if you sit, you might fall asleep again. So you have to find out whether your tiredness is real or not real. If it's real, then you have to oblige. You have to let the body rest. But after it has rested and you still feel tired, then it's not real anymore. Then you know this is your hindrance, your defilement. Then you have to fight it, oppose it, by pushing yourself to do the practice.
Question number 14 from Paul Wu, Indonesia. A few years ago, I experienced happiness during meditation. I could not feel my body. It's like dying, but I knew that I was in meditation. Is this jhana? Is this first, second, third, or fourth jhana?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. As long as you're happy and calm, it's good enough. Don't need to know which jhana it is. What you should know is how to get back in there. That's more important. And to know the name but not the body. It's better to know the body and not the name.
His next question, is fourth jhana the same as Appana Samadhi?
Yes, and it has equanimity as the characteristic of the fourth jhana, and merely knowing. These are two characteristics of the fourth jhana. The mind is completely in equanimity and merely know.
Question number 16. While I was in meditation and when happiness arises, my mind gets agitated and happiness disappeared. How can I prevent this agitation?
If it's agitation, I don't think it's happiness, because real happiness would not have any agitation. So this is not the real happiness. Then you should just ignore them and concentrate on your meditation object, whether it's a mantra or your breath. Don't let it disturb you. Don't let it bother you. Ignore it. Keep concentrating.
Question number 17 from In Chua from Malaysia. My father passed away in 2009. Yesterday, I dreamt about him suffering at his current place. What should I do to help him?
Do some dana. Donate some money to any charity, and then you can then dedicate this merit, this good karma, by just thinking in your mind, I would like to dedicate this good karma that I have done for the benefit of my father who passed away. If he waits for this good karma, he can share it with you. You can receive this good karma.
Next question, similar from Mihirini Kumara. I was close to my father when he was still alive. I lost him in 1993. I used to see him in my dreams and he was suffering. However, after I offered alms to the Sangha, he disappeared from my dreams. Recently, my father came back into my dreams, but as I am living overseas now, it is not possible to offer alms to the Sangha. What should I do to help him?
You don't need to offer alms to Sangha only. You can do dana with anybody, just anybody who needs your help. Then you can dedicate this good karma or share this good karma with your father. So you can donate your money to any charity, Christian charity, Muslim charity, doesn't matter. It's the same thing. It's still charity. It's good karma.
Next question, number 19 from Lee Te Hua, Singapore. When I first encountered Dhamma in 2007, I was very enthusiastic. I went to different temples and also completed 7 years of Dhamma studies. I'm still very interested in the Dhamma, but now the frequency of going to temples are getting less and I only listen to Dhamma talks very selectively. Am I on the right track with my Dhamma path?
I think what you have to do is you have to start practicing, because after you have studied for so long, you can only go so far. If you want to go any further, then you have to go by doing the practice. Practicing is like looking at the map. You haven't yet started traveling. You only start to travel when you start to practice. Then you can get to places that you have never been before. So I think you have overdone with your study. You know now what you have to do, so you should do them.
Question number 20 from Betty Go. In terms of Buddhist practice, can a husband and wife's undergarment be mixed and washed together? Is it true that if husband touch or help to hand wash wife's undergarment, it will bring bad luck in terms of work or job prospect and bad luck for the rest of his life?
No, I don't think so. Garment are garments, So it has nothing to do with your good luck or bad luck. Your good luck or bad luck depends on your good karma or your bad karma. If you do a lot of good karma, you'll get a lot of good luck. But washing garment, whether mixing them or separating them, it's not considered good or bad karma. They are neutral karma.
Next question, question number 21 from Karen Lin, Singapore. If I share Dhamma talk to people who don't believe in Buddha's teaching, am I planting the seed into their consciousness so that they have the knowledge to learn Buddhism in the future rebirth?
It depends on the person who listens to your Dhamma. If they're interested, then you are planting it into their consciousness. But if they're not interested, then it cannot get into their consciousness. It's like pouring water into a glass. If the glass is overturned, you will not be able to pour any water into the glass. But if the glass is turned up, then you can put the water in the glass. The mind is like that. If the mind is interested, then it's like a cup that open. that stand up to the water. But if it keep it on the other side, it means the person is not interested. Then no matter how much Dhamma you give them, it won't go into their mind.
Her next question number 22. If I share Dhamma talks to people who don't believe in Buddhism, which cause them to criticize the Buddha's teaching, am I indirectly cause them to create bad karma and cause them not to be able to meet the Buddha's teaching in the future?
No, it's the nature. They're not interested. So if once you know they're not interested, then you should stop, because it's just a waste of time.
Question number 23. The Chinese believe that during the 7 lunar month of Chinese lunar calendar, the door of the hell gate is open and the ghosts are allowed to come to the human world to eat. The Taoists will therefore offer food at the specific location, burn incense, clothing, paper money, etc. to the ancestor, because they believe the ancestor will return the offerings by blessing their family, giving them safety and giving more business or more money. Is this true?
No, it's just a belief. What is true is the gates of heaven and hell is always open. So as when you do good karma, you go into the hell right away. If you do bad karma, you do good karma, you go into heaven. You do bad karma, you go into hell. So it's all there's no gate. And no somebody watching the gate either. No need to. The law of karma is automatic, and you cannot escape or run away from the law of karma.
Question number 24. In the Taoism and Mahayana, people believe that if someone dies young or someone dies due to disaster, he will go to hell, and therefore people will pray during the 7 lunar month. Is this belief true?
No. People are affected by the good or bad karma, not by how they die. They die by accident, die by illness, die by being killed. It has nothing to do with where they will be born as, or where they will go after they die. What will decide where they will go after they die is the good or bad karma.
Question number 25. After I learn about Theravada Buddhism, I understand that I should make offering as often as I can, so that I can transfer the merits to the ancestor I have heard in the past, and so that they can be reborn in good realm. Is this way of thinking correct?
It depends on your ancestors. Some of them don't need your good karma, because they have done enough good karma on their own. But for some ancestors who hadn't done any good karma when they were living, they can use the good karma that you can share with them. So it depends on the receiver of your good karma.
Question number 26. I was told that my date of birth represents the fire element. If I wear clothes with the color that symbolize the water element, such as blue, gray, or black, I will have poorer luck. I do observe this, and indeed it is correct. If I wear clothes that represent water elements, I have much poorer luck in my business transaction. If I wear warm clothes, such as red, pink, yellow, I have better luck. As a layperson, should I do what they told me to do, that I have to wear certain color?
Well, if you prove that it is true, then do it. What can I say? You have to be the one to prove it. And if you prove it that this is true, then you do it. If you wear this clothes and make you have good luck, then wear it. I'm all for it. But for me, I don't believe it. I don't think it's your clothes that you wear that makes you have good luck or bad luck. It's your mind. What kind of Dhamma you have in your mind. If you have the 4 Brahma Vihara, then you will always have good luck. If you have Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Ubekha, then you will always have good luck. You will be loved by everybody, because you're not hurting anyone. You only help and make people happy. So I think this is the true, the real thing. Let's put it that way. What you say, it might be a coincidence that you happen to wear this clothes and then you happen to get some good luck that day. So you blame it on your clothes. So but I don't want to argue with you, because it's up to you.
She asks, is this considered superstitious?
You can say that it's superstitious because it's not based on reality. Yeah.
And how can I overcome my lack of luck?
Study the Buddha's teaching.
The last one is not a question, it's just from Stalin Weti. He said, please accept our deepest sympathies on the loss.
Thank you. My mother didn't die, she just go into another realm. She depart from her old body and she will come back with a new body. So she's actually doing some body transplanting. So there's no need to be sad, She's right now is in a state of sleep and she's dreaming. If she had made a lot of good karma, she will have good dreams. If she have bad karma, she will have bad dreams. Nothing can help, nobody can help her. So this is the way it is. So believe the Buddha and try to do only good karmas and stop doing bad karmas. Then no matter whether you live or you die, you will always be happy.
Ajahn.
Please speak close to the microphone.
I would like to ask how to cope up with the sleepiness that arises during our practice.
Sleepiness you can overcome by reducing the amount of food you eat. Eat less. You can start by reducing about half of your food intake. And if it still makes you sleepy, then you have to reduce some more. Maybe you can skip meal one day, fast one day, and eat one day. This will help you to get rid of your sleepiness. But at the same time, it can also make you restless and agitated. So you need to have strong enough mindfulness to be able to stop your mind from thinking about food. Because when you're fasting, when you're not eating, your mind craves for food, and it will keep thinking about food. So you should have enough mindfulness to stop your thinking, like using a mantra, Bhutto, Bhutto. If you can use another method, which we call vipassana, or wisdom, by contemplating on the unsavory part of food. Think of the food when you eat in your mouth, or think of the food when they go into your stomach, or think of the food when they come out of your body. If you think about this food, this part, this this kind of food, it can reduce your desire, your craving for food. So this is one method, by fasting, by reducing the amount of food you take per day. The next one is if you cannot use this method, then you need to go find a place where it's scary, like meditate in a cemetery, or go into the wild forest where you might be attacked by some animals. If you go and stay in those places, you will be alert, your mind will be alert. You will not fall asleep easily. But then again, you need to be strong and you need to be brave. You have to have strong mindfulness to get rid of your fear. When you think about animals attacking you, or think about ghosts visiting you, then you have to have enough mindfulness to stop it. If you don't, the other way is to use wisdom to contemplate on the nature of your body, that eventually your body will have to die. So maybe this is the time for you to die. If you can accept that maybe something will attack you, maybe some ghost will make you die, but you're willing to face it, then your fear can disappear. Then your mind will become calm and peaceful, and you can continue on meditating. So these are two methods that you can use in stopping your sleepiness. some Ajahn, according to the biography, it wrote in the biography of Ajahn, some Ajahn, some teacher will go sit in the forest where they see the tracks of wild animals. So they know that it's possible that they might meet some wild animal there. Then that will make them not sleepy. Yeah. Or some teacher go sit on the edge of a cliff. Yeah. Should he fall asleep, then he'll fall off the cliff. Yeah. So when you're in that places, you will not feel sleepy. So these are some of the methods that meditation practitioner use to get rid of their sleepiness. Okay. Anything else?
Another question. When I went back after staying here and practicing for 2 months, I found that myself is easily getting irritated with many things, with people at home, with many activities. And this hatred, I try to meditate, and I cannot overcome the irritation that comes up. And I gave up practicing at home. So what is actually happening? Why it became the irritation becomes so unbearable after practicing, and how to manage when I experience that kind of situation again?
Well, your irritation arises from your desire to have things your way. See, when things don't go your way, you become irritated. When you meet people, meet things, and they say or do things not according to what you want them to do, then you can become irritated if you have the desire to have things your way. So you have to understand the nature of things that you are involved with, that they are not under your control. You cannot tell them or manage them to be the way you like them to be. Sometimes you might be able to, but sometimes you might not. So you have to understand this nature of things, that they're moving around, they're not under your control. If you don't want to be irritated, then you just have to get rid of your desire to have things your way, and then have things their way. Let them be and accept them for what they are. So this is wisdom. You have to see things as anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anicca, they keep changing. Anatta, you cannot stop them from changing. If you want to change them, you can get dukkha. If you don't want to change them, then there will be no dukkha. So you have to learn to teach your mind to just stop your desire to change things, to have things your way. Just take things as they come, good or bad. Just let it be. Then your mind will not be irritated. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Can you translate the word samudaya into English?
Samudaya, origin of dukkha, the cause of dukkha, consists of kama tanha, bhava tanha, vibhava tanha. The three cravings: craving for sensual desire, craving to be, and craving not to be. Samudaya. It's in the Four Noble Truths. Dukkha samudaya, samudaya. Samudaya comes from the word samudaya in Pali. Dukkha, samudaya, nirodha, and magga.
And then about meditation is I tried the Picharana, the Asupa, and then it eventually after a while after some time it will go back into samadhi.
Yeah, you can alternate doing samadhi and contemplation.
Okay.
You should rest your mind after you're tired of contemplating, then you go into samadhi. After you come out of samadhi, then you continue on with your contemplation again. until you remember the asupa in your mind. So that every time you see something beautiful, you can think of asupa right away.
ค่ะคำถามจากคุณโอลิเวอร์บองชูท่านอาจารย์
Olivia.
ค่ะขอ
Bonjour,
โทษค่ะ
Olivia from
Olivia
Paris.
ค่ะ
Long time no hear from you.
ค่ะ
How are you?
One of my friend asked me this question and I don't know what to answer. The Buddha say equanimity must be our goal, and in the same time the Buddha say we have to develop metta and karuna. Can we be equanimous and in the same time love and be nice with people? Thank you.
You don't have to have them at the same time, but you have to have them with you all the time. It's like a tool you used to use under different circumstances. Like if you're a carpenter, you have to have a hammer, you have to have a saw, and so you can use the instrument according to your need. The four Brahma Vihara, Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Ubekha are like tools you use to involve with people. When you interact with people, you need to have these four things, but you don't use them all at the same time. You usually use metta when you meet people. You say, hello, how are you? Happy to see you. This is metta. If you see the person you meet need help, you give them help. This is karuna. If you see the person having been successful, getting married, or getting a raise, you congratulate them. This is mudita. And if you see a person that you cannot help or do anything, like he's sick and he has to die in a few days, then you have to have ubekha, because there's nothing you can do. So you have to make your mind calm. Don't be sad. Don't be feeling guilty because there's nothing you can do for that person. So these are the four tools we use when we get engaged with people. When we interact with people, we have to choose these two properly. Don't use them at the wrong time. Instead of using metta, you use equanimity. This is not right. When you meet people, you don't say hello, you don't say hi, because you want to be equanimity. This is not right. When you see people need your help, you use equanimity. This is not correct. When you see people need help, you use karuna, compassion. When you see people, you show your friendliness. This is metta. So you have to know which one to use.
I want to ask about peace inside and silence and I have peace inside and silence, but sometimes like right now it's very difficult for me.
You have to develop a tool to make it quiet inside. Right now you don't have the tool, so it's not quiet. What you need is mindfulness, or your ability to concentrate on some object, some mental object, such as a mantra. If you can recite mantra like Buddha, Buddha, then you can stop all the noises inside your mind, and your mind can become quiet. The noises arise from your thoughts. You keep thinking about this and that, and then it makes you agitated and restless and unhappy. And if you keep reciting the mantra, then you can get rid of these noises, these thoughts. Then your mind will become calm, peaceful, and happy and silent. So you need to learn to develop this mantra. Do it all the time. Or you can do this all day long. From the time you get up, when you open up your eyes, when your mind starts to think, you should stop it with a mantra. You recite Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto as you go and do whatever you have to do, like washing your face, brushing your teeth, taking a shower, comb your hair, getting dressed, eating. When you don't have to think, don't let your mind think. Use the mantra to stop it from thinking. And only allow it to think only whatever you have to think. When you don't have to think, you should stop it. Then your mind can become quiet and peaceful and silent. Okay? Understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Understand.
If you don't like to use the mantra, you can use your body. Keep concentrating on what you do. Don't let your mind go somewhere else. If you are combing your hair, keep your mind with the combing of your hair. Don't go think about home in Moscow or somewhere. Bring your mind back to your body. Fix your mind with the body all the time by watching whatever your body is doing. If you're walking, just keep watching your feet, left, right. Yeah. Don't let your mind go thinking somewhere else. Then you can silence your thought. Keep your mind quiet. And if you have nothing to do, when you sit down and meditate, watch your breath, your in and out breath. When you breathe in, just know you are breathing in. When you're breathing out, you just know that you are breathing out. Don't have to control your breath. Just leave the breath alone. All you have to do is just keep watching. Because when you keep watching your breath, you cannot go think about some other thing. If you go think, then it means you're not watching your breath. Okay? Right. Is that all?
Yes.
Anybody else? Your friend want to ask anything? Nobody? Okay. If you want to go, you're welcome to go. If you don't find it comfortable sitting here, because we'll be speaking in Thai, and you might not understand what I'll be talking about. If you want to go somewhere else, you're welcome to. You don't have to stay here. You can go look at the books I told you about, and maybe you can read from those books and you can learn. Because most of what I say today are in those books. All right? Okay. All right. You want to know what she asked? She asked about forgiveness. What is the purpose of forgiveness? The Buddha said to forgive is to make your mind peaceful and calm. When you want to revenge, your mind become restless and agitated. So if you want to become peaceful and calm, you have to forgive. No matter how bad the person might have done to you, you have to forgive them. Even if they kill you, forgive them. Then you can die in peace and live in peace. But if you cannot forgive, you will be die in suffering, living in suffering. So that is the purpose or the benefit of forgiving. Okay?
I have followed Ajah's advice to reduce my meal and try fasting every 2 days.
Yeah.
And it helps me to reduce my sleepiness gradually.
Yeah.
Now I am facing a restlessness while I'm sitting. The thoughts keep coming once after the other, despite the mantra is still also continuing, but it becomes like only a back sound. And the body is restless in a sense that it wants to keep changing posture for no apparent reason. In this case, what should I do? Should I continue?
You should change. You should not sit. You should walk for a long time. Since the mind wants to move around, let it move around with the walking position. Keep walking Jamkama for 2 or 3 hours at a time. Walk until you feel like dropping dead. Then you can come back and sit. Once your mind become tired, then it is ready to sit. So when it's restless, just keep on the walking path. Keep walking 2 3 hours. I know a teacher who instructs his student to walk for 6 hours, just to get rid of the restlessness. So if you're restless, okay, let's walk. Walk for 6 hours. Don't stop. Then by that time you will be so tired, you're not restless anymore. You want to rest. Then you can sit and meditate. Then you can appreciate the sitting position. Okay?
Okay.
So you have to, this is the way to struggle with your mind. The mind is very stubborn. So you have to be very strong, intense with the mind. You cannot go easy with it. Yeah? Okay.
Okay.
So you have to need some what you call extreme measure to get rid of your extreme problem.
Okay.
So if it's restless, keep walking until it finally stop restless. Stop. But you cannot just walk without mindfulness. You have to walk with mindfulness. You have to be constantly watching your foot, your feet, using a mantra. You can switch if you like while you walk. Sometimes you watch your feet, left, right, left, right. Sometimes you use a mantra. Sometimes you can chant if you want. Chant some chanting that you can remember. Or you can recite the 32 parts of the body. Anything to keep the mind busy while you walk. Yeah. But don't think about sight, sound, smell, taste, and tactile objects. Yeah. This can create more restlessness. You have to think of Dhamma.
Okay.
Yeah. Think of the 32 parts, or chant the sutta, the teaching of the Buddha, or recite a mantra. Anything like this is okay. But you shouldn't just walk alone. Walk without having any mindfulness, because then your mind will start saying, "Oh, I'm tired. I don't want to walk anymore." So when you stop, when you walk for a few minutes, you become tired. This is tired because the mind says so, not because the body says so. It's not tired. It just pretend to be tired. So when you stop walking, you come and sit down for a few minutes. It becomes restless again. So don't let your mind think. Force it to think of the Dhamma, mantra, chant, or the 32 parts of the body. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, yes.
Put close to the microphone.
Okay. I want to ask about what you do in your life.
What matter?
What matter you do in your life? What matter in your wife or mother, or I just sit and do meditation all my life? What matter? Okay.
See, what matter is happiness. Everybody wants happiness. Everything that we all do today is for happiness. But somehow we don't get that happiness, or we get very little of that happiness. Usually we get more of sadness and unhappiness. That's because we don't know the right way of making happiness to happen. So that's what the Buddha teaches us. If we want to have happiness, we have to do 3 things. First thing, we have to stop doing bad things that hurt other people. We call bad karma, like killing, stealing, committing adultery, lying, and all the drinking alcohol or gamble. These are things that will make us unhappy. It might make us happy initially, but then after that initial happiness disappears, then you will have a lot of unhappiness. You have a lot of suffering. So this is the first thing the Buddha said we should try to do is to stop doing bad action, bad karma, by keeping the 5 precepts. The Buddha teaches us to keep the 5 precepts. Abstain from killing, abstain from stealing, abstain from lying, abstain from adultery, abstain from drinking alcohol. If we can do this, we can prevent a lot of unhappiness to arise. Yeah. Then the next thing he wants us to do is to do good things, to make other people happy. Like giving, like today the lay people come to the monastery to give food, to give things to the monks, to help the monks, support the monks so the monks can practice meditation. This is one way of making yourself happy. When you help other people, when you make other people happy, you will feel happy. So this is the next thing you should try to do is charity. Learn to do charity on your time, on the amount of money you can afford. You don't have to you don't have to give all your money away. You have to save for yourself, your family. Looking after your family is also a form of charity. Looking after your father, your mother, your husband, your wife, your children, this is also a form of charity. It makes you feel good, make you feel happy. Then the third thing the Buddha teaches us to do is to meditate. If we want to have real happiness, lasting happiness, we have to find it through meditation. But meditation is something for maybe not for everybody, because if you want to really succeed in meditation, you have to commit yourself totally to the practice of meditation. So not very many people can do this. Only a few who became monks, who live in monasteries, they can devote all their times to the practice of meditation. But you can do partially if you haven't yet gone into a monastery. If you're still living with your family, your husband and your wife or your children, on your spare time you should learn how to meditate. Maybe an hour, half an hour a day or something like that. As the initial stage of practice, you have to go slowly first. Go on your own time. Find the time that you have. But when you have tried to meditate, and if you succeed, you'll find it to be very rewarding. It's a different kind of happiness. It's the happiness that makes you feel stable, secure, and it will make you want to have more of it. Then you will start looking for more time to do it by stopping doing other things that you find useless to you. But before that, before you meditate, you might find it useful, like watching television, like going on shopping or going out. But once you start to meditate, you can see the difference, the different kind of happiness you get from meditation and the happiness you get from doing these activities. So you might stop doing those activities like going to movies, going to parties, going to sports events, and stay home instead and meditate. So you'll have more time to meditate and you'll have more happiness. And if you still want more, then maybe eventually if you can be free from everybody, from your family, then you can enter into the monastery, go live in the monastery, where you can meditate full time that way. So this is the way that the Buddha teaches us if we want to have happiness and no sadness, no problem, no troubles. Do these 3 things. First, abstain from doing bad karma. Second, do only good karma. Third, learn how to meditate. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
You want to ask? Okay.
Tanatan, I want to ask you a question. Just like you mentioned about charity begins at home. We look after our family members first.
That's right.
So in my case, I look after my family, but my wife and sometimes my children also, they are not have an instinct to do donation and all that. So sometimes when I want to keep beyond the families, they kind of sometimes are quite not. They agree to that, but I still continue to do like giving to my mother, my brothers, even though my wife doesn't agree so much, and even beyond other people. Is it the wrong thing to do? I mean, my wife is not working, but I'm the only, the person in the family who bring money to the family. But I have extra that I can keep beyond that. Is it wrong?
If it's your own money, it's not wrong. But if it's your wife's money also, then you have to have permission from her. If she and you own the money, then she has to have consent.
Okay.
But if it's your own money, you're free to spend it any way you like, then it's not wrong.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay.
The second question is about, I know Ajahn for about 8 years, and the last 4 years I've been practicing a lot, and only occasionally, like weekends I do this in the temple meditation and all that. But now I feel that the progress is very slow, and I decided to kind of stop working. And then, even though I still can afford to work, everything. So, what is your advice, Ajahn? Because is just want to go into this path. Is it something that is too rush, or is it something that I could probably pursue? Yeah?
You have to look at the outcome of your action, of what you do. If you study the Buddha's teaching, the Buddha said, the best outcome for you is to meditate, because that will solve all your problems. But if you do other things, they will only solve your problem temporarily, and you'll keep coming back to the same old problem again, because you'll keep rebirthing, you'll keep coming to be reborn, to get sick, get old, and die again and again. But if you learn to meditate the way that the Buddha teaches us to do, we will stop this rebirth cycle. We won't have to come back to be reborn, to get old, get sick, and die again and again forever. So if you look at the outcome, then the investment, whatever, how much you put in, is worth it. That's why the Buddha gave up his princely status. He was a prince, but he didn't want to come back and be reborn again and again. So he was willing to become a beggar, live like a beggar as a monk. But he didn't have all the time to meditate. And within 6 years he became enlightened. And he have solved his problem that he had for many, many lifetimes. Yeah. Had he not come out, become a monk, and live with his family in the palace, he wouldn't be able to become enlightened and solve his problem. So it's worth it, but just a matter of whether you can do it or not, whether you can have enough, your mind is strong enough to give up what you have or not. Because your attachment will always raise some questions or a reason. Oh, you're leaving them, you're abandoning them, you're hurting them. Yeah. But you never thought that when you die it's the same thing, right? When you die, you abandon them anyway, you hurt them anyway. But it's only briefly, because life can go on. They will adjust. They don't have you, they don't die with you. I guarantee you that. They'll find somebody else, maybe better than you. Right?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, that's all the question for today. Anybody wants to ask any more question? Do you? Okay, then I guess we should then discontinue and finish this talk for today. May all of you advance in your practice and find peace and happiness wherever you are.